Okay, good evening. Okay, today we will see another interesting topic like SQLite database and using SQL Alchemy, how we write SQL queries in kind of Python way. So for that, we will be using building a Flask library project. It's like adding all the books available catalog library catalog project, similar kind of website we will be building using Flask. So the first thing we have today we have given how to set up a project in PyCharm. So generally we are not using PyCharm still now. So today as of now just for demo purpose we are using because laptop doesn't support when we open multiple high-end softwares. So because we are opening one of the recording software and PyCharm, so it might a little bit slow, but just for a demo purpose. Uh, so better to whenever you are writing or working with any of the Flask or the projects, so you can just take this like starting files library and you can unzip it, and when you open this, you will get this kind of pop-ups where we it will ask for to create uh, virtual environment, so it automatically create that and click on. So whenever it's unable to create, so you can just go to reload all from disk file, and still if you still get prompted, so then you can actually add local interpreter. You can directly go here and I can do this Python interpreter, add local, and then you can leave the default settings and click OK. So you have to don't inherit global site packages. So when you click, we will see a virtual environment. So something kind of this kind of stuff we will see like a virtual environment will be created. It will have all the whatever the requirements we have given in requirements.txt. It will automatically download and it will create a separate virtual environment for us. So this is the actual ideal setup for all Python projects. So because when instead of working on default libraries or default Python installations, uh, it's better to create an virtual environment and then you import all the packages required for your project. Uh, okay, so that the virtual environment and normal our own Python installation environment don't collide with each other, and it is better uh, uh, whenever our system has some nice configurations. We can use multiple uh, like PyCharm kind of stuffs you can use. So generally, this all slides are how to unzip or like how to set up a project in PyCharm. So yeah. So whenever you follow all the steps, you will see a virtual environment folder will be created, and it will have all the required libraries only for this project. So this is one of the best way to create our environment so that it doesn't overlap with the system of Python installations. Uh, and it is whenever we execute our any uh, any Python script for in this project, it will be executed very fastly because it don't need to download all the required all other libraries. It will just take it will just uh, work on the whatever the requirements we have mentioned. It will work on the same thing, like only that libraries will be downloaded to the virtual environment folder and it will be very lightweight. Even when you do like package into an exe file. For example, we have already done for taken. So at that time also, like this, creating a virtual environment is very useful to create an lightweight exes instead of packing everything into all the modules into one exe file. Just pack only required modules and into one exe file, and that will be sufficient. So this is all about that. Again, just I'm using PyCharm today just to give us demo all the sectional. So it's main.py. So now again still we have some red kind of stuff. We will, whenever there is some import statements and Flask unable to check for that, actually there will be a red kind of markings will come. So then we can actually type Windows and pip install. So opening terminal, like this is the terminal. We can open the terminal and then we can run the pip install command. So it will take time because yeah. Now once we have set up everything, now we will be getting our website to work. So now it installed HTML. So now what we will be doing, we will go into PyCharm itself. Okay, now what here we haven't defined anything. So here we will be using um, so just I am running it. So it got started when I just click on this. So the first challenge is nothing but we have to get thing working. So it should see something like this. Yeah, my library h1 add new book and there is no anything available. So this is working fine. Now in the next challenge we have to render add.html also. So whenever we click on this, so it should work the same. So I'm doing, I am just writing. So add.html. So it's like just in the templates folder we have only two. Just we are using that add.html and this one. So now just but here okay, in the root it is add. Okay. So now if you see, yeah, book name, book author, and rating. So whatever we rendered both HTML files. So now we have to create an one list called all books. So whenever we click on that, whenever we give the data, whenever we click given book name, book author, rating, and click on add book, it should add to this all books list. So we have to define that, and the data structure of the all books should be something like that. It's like a dictionary we have to pass. So now so this all books is already defined, all books equal to. Now in the we have to go to for getting hold of all this data. What we can do, we can go to templates. Open the so here we have to add a URL for no because for this method function call. So we are giving the URL and it will be post and how to get the hold of the data. We have to already we know whenever there is a form how to get hold of that form in Flask. It's like we need to have some name attribute to be defined. So we can define something like this, like author. So we already waste of time just so, okay, giving here author. So book name, book order, we can get hold of. So just I am copy pasting this. So in the label it will be same. So but name it is like we are getting hold of title, author, and the name it is like author. We are getting hold of using the name attribute. We are getting hold of author, and for rating we are getting hold of the rating using a rating name attribute. Now we have to change main.py also. Here on thing total copy paste engine stuff typing. So here we already know we are getting hold of request this one like a request object from Flask, and then if that method is equal to post, then we are creating a new. So where the title is, we are getting from title dot form dot title. This is the name attribute, and other also from name attribute other. Rating is also from name attribute other. So we are defining an dictionary form, and then just we are appending this dictionary with that. And once it is done, we are actually what we can do is this is again one of the use case. So we are redirecting your to home page. Home page nothing but this index.html. So in the same thing, now what we have to do is we have to show all books in the list item. For example, this. Uh, so because whenever as of see here, there won't be any book because we haven't added. Okay, so now it is. So for that, again we need to do nothing, but we have to go to index.html. Again, we have to get hold of here list items. So in the list items, if I see the list items, so again, we just go to this. So we are so again for book in books, we are opening a for loop for book in books. But how we have to get hold of this? So here in the index.html, we have to send uh, this one. So now books equal to this index.html, we are getting hold of a variable books for loop, and then we are getting book.title author and book.title by. So we are just iterating to the list of title. So it's like a dictionary of text. Here should be again it's pure brand. So here we have given URL for add the same way for href, and now it's add new book, it should redirect to that page, uh, adding book page. So now if I just run again, so here add, okay, why it is not taking, okay, sorry, I think I need to give in quotes, even this also in quote. Now if I just refresh it again, it should work. So there is no books available. Now I am clicking, it should go to this. Now I just book name Harry Potter Jake 9 add book. So now it got added. So the same thing, some so now we are able to see all the data whatever it is coming, right? So there is another challenge, just so now if the book list is empty, if there are no books, then what we have to do, we have to show library is empty. So it's like the book list should be empty. So that how we can do again using index.html. So here we will be using if condition. So it's like if not books is nothing but if books is empty, uh, then paragraph which what they want, library is empty. And we have to close the condition and if. So as of now, whenever we go back and just refresh it, also there won't be anything, but whenever just I stop the server and again I run it. Now if I just hold, so if you see here, library is empty, it is coming. But what happened to our data? Because we already entered the data, that data gone. Alright, so that's what here what's happening. So what happened is, because we are storing our data in all books variable, whenever we refresh that main.py or whenever we restart the server, it actually reinitialize the everything, like all the variables whatever it is. So here we are defining again, it will reinitialize at this point, so it will reinitialize at empty only, like whenever we start and we again start the server. So but whenever it's like, as of now it is not it's just for our purpose, but whenever it's we are developing an any website where we have to track users data and we have to get all that whatever the user has taken, all the library books with that. So whenever for example if we start and restart the server, all the data gone, it's like chaos, right? So in order to fix this, so how we will be doing is, we have to store data in database. So whenever we actually append book or whenever add a data, it should append to the database, not to the list, and that the data should be there forever until unless the database got deleted. So that's the main use of databases in whenever we develop in a website. So all the users, all the data should be stored in database. So now how we will be doing a deal with the databases in Flask applications. Now we will see what exactly SQL database looks like. SQLite is nothing but by default every Python install it will have SQLite database. So for example, I will be deleting this. Okay, uh, let's just so let's go one by one step. So it's like just import SQLite. So now just create a new project in a PyCharm, whatever we like, and now just I have given everything. So now we are importing SQLite. So by default it will be installation. Otherwise you can do pip install SQLite, and then we are actually connecting to a some book collection DB database. So it is nothing but so if the database is not there, it actually creates the file. So we will see whenever I run this now. So if I just SQLite demo folder, I have run it, I have deleted, and now if I see, there is a database .db file got created. PyCharm or whatever, I think PyCharm is not able to recognize that. Generally, it will be at, where the main file is created at that occasional. So yeah, book collection.db. So now we can't open our DB, it's not work. So we will show how to access this database file later. So now exactly now what we need to do is, to control our database, we have to create a one cursor. So it is like the same cursor I am using to point out, right? So mouse and pointer. So if you are working Excel sheet or Google, we will using to add rows of data, delete data. Also we need cursor to modify. The same thing whenever we go for Excel sheets, there will be multiple cells. So highlighting cell, we will go to the cursor and we click on that, right? The same kind of stuff we will be using in SQL database also. Our database. So we are creating that cursor to control our database. Now it's like the same thing coming back to Excel analogy. So whatever in a database we can create multiple tables. Just like in Excel we can create multiple sheets. So in the one database we can create multiple tables. So now let's create one table. So this is the command. Now we got created and we have to create execute. So here we just go back and comment this. So now just we have used the same thing. Create table books ID, like ID is the integer primary key, and title is like not null and it should be unique. Other varchar maximum it will be 250 and it should be not null, and rating it should be float and it should be not. So we are defining actually data types. So we have given everything here. So how we create a database, like how we define. So now what exactly that command is doing? So cursor we are created. So pointer that is going to do all the work, and execute method to do the action. So create table. This will create. So we can go to this link for a reference. So yeah. So so this is the part of the name we have given table we are creating now. Fields in the table, so column headings. So yeah, so whenever we create a sheet, books is like a sheet name, and now we are creating headings, column headings in the table itself. So for example, it's month, year, sales. So ID integer primary key, this is the ID which is data type of integer, and it will be the primary key for this table. So this is like our passport number. Every individual has unique passport numbers. So similarly, the title, what is varchars variable length. So 215 brackets, maximum length is 250. So it's like we can't leave it as not null. We can't left as and no two unique should have the same book title. Other it should be not null, but it can not there can be have duplicate. So here we haven't given unique. So on the rating it should be float and it should accept data type and numbers. So now here whenever we run it the code from step 5. So let's run. So it got run, but again I just go back here. If you see there is a 12 KB file. It's before it's a 0 KB file. Now it is. So to view this database, so we should download this DB browser for SQLite, a standard installer, and just once you download it, you just double click, it will automatically install. So now I just open, for example, just let me close this, and I go to this. When I create a shortcut, I am just opening the DB browser SQLite client. So once open, we have given how to open the database. So now we can click on the open database, and we should go to where our database is created. Database file is created. So Flask SQLite demo, and I'm just opening this. Now if I just this is structure, so if you see again, uh, we have given ID, integer, title, author, rating. Now browse data. So data is again, we have created ID, title, author, and there is no data as of now. It is available. So now title in the table, if you see again, this is the table. So if there are, you can create multiple tables for the same DB. So when I can execute books underscore one also, then create the same thing we can actually create. For example, in the same HR database where user data is there, their salaries data will be there, and their attendance data will be there, and depends on different tables. So here the same in the library we are having books section, books table we are creating. Now we have to execute this code so that some data will be executed. So the same thing now db.commit. So this is like executing query. So here like we are inserting like values into the table. So we are giving ID, Harry Potter, author like book name, author name, and it's like floating point rating and db.commit. So before whenever we try to execute this, first we have to uncomment this. Otherwise, if I just try to create again, it will give throw us error like already books table exists because we already created a book table, so it's not needed. Now, before executing this query, we have to close the database. Otherwise, again, we will get another error saying database locked. So, so let's check that also. So now, if I just, I am not closing a database here in SQLite. So, is it got updated? I'm not sure. Okay, now it got updated, but generally it should give error. Otherwise, okay, we'll get a warning about database. Okay, so we will get a warning. I think we have hidden the warnings, so that's why we didn't got any warning and it got updated. So now if I just see this, it is working perfectly fine. So we have updated whatever we require in the database. But for example, if I just try to run using here, if I just change values to value and I try to execute query value reporter 2. I'm just giving 9.4. So I'm just change this insert into. So if I just run it, actually we are getting syntax error. So it is not recommended. So we need to be very careful. Sometimes if I just we missed one S also it won't work. Even sometimes if I just if I go for example if I just books here if I keep capital B for example, then also it won't work. So it's like we need to be very careful when we are writing this kind of SQL queries in our projects. But but instead of writing the SQL queries, we can actually tool called SQL Alchemy. So we can use Python code to write all these queries instead of writing SQL queries by ourselves. So it is a tool which will be used to write all the SQL queries whatever we are writing now. So it's like we will be whenever we are clicking add now, like for example now the add book. So whenever we click on add, this will automatically the Alchemy what it will do, it will automatically write the query to add all our data to the database file, and then it will we don't need to write any insert query or create table query. So it's uh, very useful for us directly to write in Python. So in Python itself we can tell uh, using SQL Alchemy we can tell to write so I want to insert this data using from this form data insert into data table. We can do this. So that's what we will see tomorrow. So yeah, so today for what is the under the hood, how the database works, how what exactly the database looks like. So this SQLite. So yeah, and then we can actually this is very useful. So what exactly database and how to query database, create databases, and we can actually execute SQL also. So depending on what are the database we created. So this is a sample example. So the same thing. So even we can host whenever in our laptop small data. Now, but given that whenever we create and we deploy our website to production, if our laptop goes out of power or out of someone got deleted database by mistake, so everything will be lost, right? So there will be multiple things. So that's why the data centers, everything is very well maintained. But for understanding purpose, so what exactly database looks like, or what is the database? So this is how actually the DB file. Yeah, I think yeah, that's it for today. I can see you in next section. Thank you.